And there's a story too that has to be sort of told, because like what you guys have right now are edits that I did, so you can play single songs. And we went in the studio and wrote like I guess 20 songs in 5 weeks or something, and then we pared it down to 14, I think. And then it was kind of maybe it's just what everybody realized at the same time, and Timbaland realized it, that I don't come with any kind of record company people saying anything. I don't let anyone listen to anything ever or tell me what to do. I don't play demos for anyone. I just make albums and then say, here's the album. And suddenly we got into this really ambitious project. So now, you know, what I have with this album with Timbaland is also unlike anything anyone's done, or anything he's done or I've done. The music never stops from beginning to end. It's like Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Oh,
it's
really?
a musically conceptual thing. So when you play songs now, you can decide if you do or don't like the song, but really the album needs to be listened to from beginning to end. It's that kind of an experience. And so at some point I think I'm going to make it on MySpace like available to listen to for like a 24-hour window where you can just go and listen to the whole album as many times as you want. Because I don't know how else to tell that story at a time when people kind of are into sound bites and file sharing like one song at a time and buying one song, or you know, auditioning songs on iTunes and not buying a whole album. This is sort of like the opposite kind of thing. Although you can do that too when the record comes out. It's just something that both of us really want. Timbaland wanted it to not be able to be split up on iTunes. He wanted them only to be able to buy the album, and the only reason why we didn't do that was because then people will just chop it up themselves, and then we don't.
Oh yeah, sure they will. Yeah.
But anyway.
And of course, that way they have to buy the whole album, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta buy the.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, it's
14 times 1 is what?
Somebody try and tell me that this guy can't make friendship bracelets. They're gonna be wearing them on their ankles.
How long did this take to write and record?
The songs was really quick. It was like 5 weeks, and then to put the whole thing together with all of like the musical interludes and orchestration and stuff, and then mixing, the whole thing ended up being like 6 months. And I think the longest Timbaland spent on a record was probably
2 weeks,
6 weeks.
Okay.
So he really got into it.
Where was this done? Where'd you record it?
Miami.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah.
I guess for some reason I'm like, he's always in Seattle, man.
Well, you know what?
Always having a Starbucks.
I did everything. I recorded every record in Seattle until my first solo record, and then Audioslave obviously was all in LA, because that's where the other 3 guys were, and so on this album I could go wherever, and Timbaland lives in Miami and works out of Miami, and I thought, you know, why not take the family? And so we all
was it in his house?
Like the Clampetts, we all got in like an old car and went over to Miami. And no, it was in a couple different studios, and but the good part was like he would go home and come back with these crazy ideas. So like if he wasn't there, he was at home coming up with something, and I knew when he would show up, he would play something that's crazy, and then I would sit and start writing stuff to it and start singing, and so it ended up working out really great. And I didn't see we worked night times really. I didn't see the sun or any of the beach or Miami at all for 2 months, until we got into like mixing and stuff, and then I started actually seeing people outside.
What if I had to pick one of these songs to play? What do you think? There's 5 of them on there?
My favorite that's on there, well, actually, it would be between Scream and Ground Zero. So,
well, let's just play them both. Now, do they sag back to back? I mean, it's a nice little thing, or is it going to be awkward, little chopped off?
No, those are single. Okay. Those are single edits. So yeah, they're 2 single songs that live autonomously on that disc that you hold.
And the name of the album is
Scream.
Scream, and this will be available when?
Sometime in the fall. I think it's October or something.
I hate when you guys do that. Why do you do that? No, like seriously. Like, why can't I just rip this into my eyes? Why don't you just be cool and just let me have a copy of this, man?
Yeah, why is that?
I give you a friendship bracelet, Chris Cornell. You give me your album.
Don't say how hard it is to be like the regional record company person, because you're turning like first pink and then kind of a short.
I hammered him last time he was here. I was like, leave that here.
Yeah. These guys,
I was begging him. He wouldn't leave it.
You know how much trouble he would get into?
Yeah, I didn't care about it.
Honestly.
I wanted it, man. I want it.
All right. Record guy, what would happen if somehow someone got a copy of this album and it was traced back to you? I mean,
well, as you can see, my name is on that disc. So
You would lose your job, right?
I would lose my job.
Okay.
See
would
that?
you face any sort of charges?
Yeah, I think I would.
We could get you another gig. Bo knows all kind of legal people. I mean, you know, who do you want to work for, dude?
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I mean, there would definitely be. There'd be some. See, the BlackBerry's going off already. They know we're even talking about it.
There's a code, obviously, that's in this to where if I ripped it into my iPod, they can trace.
Right. Yeah. Something.
Yeah, they know where it came from. Which is that. So this is the example. This is a good record company guy that's doing his job. So he's protecting me, the artist, and the music, so that it's like, you know, back. But it really, I mean, there was a time when you could make an album and just give it to anyone, anywhere, and you wouldn't have to worry about like 30,000 people stealing it and sharing it that day. And that's like the position that you get put into. And so this is the downside of it. The upside of it, though, is the fact that you can communicate music that way. The fact that I could, like, for example, allow people to listen to the whole album for 24 hours as many times as they want for free, just so that they can hear my album, and then if they want to buy it, they can go buy it. Which is the opposite of, say, the decade of the 80s, where they were selling a bazillion rock records that weren't very good, and people were going out and spending the money buying them. And